there, Metterville, parents, boys and girls, and teachers. If you can't see, it's Miss Bolton
and Miss Merida.
And we're smiling at you, but it's too hard to see with our mask on. You've got to see with our mask. We'll have to draw a smile on there.
Right.
We hope you all had a great 4th of July. You hope you got to do something nice. It was nice weather. Hopefully you got to eat, my favorite, some watermelon on the 4th of July. Hot dogs. And got to see some fireworks.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had a little festive glasses on for you, but we're here today to talk to you about something that's very, very serious. And so to be a little bit serious, I got to take off my glasses here so you can see me. And I'm going to pull my mask down a little bit so you can hear me a little bit better because it's kind of distorted. Parents, I know that you are, contemplating the same questions that I am, Miss Merida. What are we going to do when school starts? And in order to do that, we are planning and doing everything we can to make sure that the protocols given by the state and by the county and by the school district are being followed as much as possible to ensure your child's safety. I don't know all the answers, I'm going to be honest with you, but I do know this. We will give it 110% effort. Every single thing we know we can do to help keep your child safe, we will be doing.
Yes.
We have a link that Dr. Powell, our superintendent from Pasadena Independent School District, has put out that we need your input. As we try to prepare for this next school year, it's very hard for me to know how many teachers do we need. Do we need teachers, or you're going to send your kid to school? And do we need teachers here, or are you choosing to do it online? Do we need teachers to prepare for online? And so in order to be the best prepared, there's a link that has a survey. It truly has 4 questions on it for you as a parent. What's your child's name? What school do they go to? Do you plan to send them back to school, or are they going to stay home and do virtual? And do they ride the bus on a usual basis? Those are the 4 questions, that's it. If you have more than one kid, you fill it out for each one of those kids, because you might have a high school kid and you might have an elementary student. So my purpose today is to explain to you what those 2 options are. And if you go on the Pasadena webpage, the school district webpage, Dr. Powell will explain those kind of things too. I'm just going to here to kind of condense it down for our Metter way. And Miss Merida has been helping me today. We have, and Miss Clowers, placed these stickers on our floors pretty much throughout our building to tell your child, stop here. So because if you worked in an elementary school, kids run up on top of each other and they're bumping into each other and they stepped on my shoe. Well, we're trying to keep them safe distancing. The CDC guideline says we have to keep them 3 to 6 foot apart. It's very hard in elementary school for a kid to know what is 3 to 6 foot. So we have placed stickers on the floor. That's not going to be the whole fix, but it's going to help. We have also, we're asking that every teacher, every student, come to school only when you are 100% healthy. Parents, if your child is running a fever, if they have had throwing up symptoms or diarrhea symptoms, or they're not feeling well, please don't send them to school, because I don't want them to infect me or Miss Merida or any other child at our school.
Right.
I want them all to be safe. And so, I know how it is. You give them a Tylenol in the morning, their fever goes down, but by about 10 o'clock, it's back up again. We don't want that. I want your child to be safe. So I'm asking you, parents, if you can get up in the morning and say, I did not give my child any type of medication to make their fever go down, and they were healthy, and everything is okay, we want them to come to school this year. We are opening school just like it would any other year. We are asking that every parent, if you were here at Metter last year, or at whatever other school you went to, you need to go online and register your child through Skyward so that they will be enrolled. And so that then you will have the choice. After they're enrolled, you'll still get to make that choice. Do I want my kid to actually go to school every day, or do I want him to stay home and do virtual? Now, the last 9 weeks of school, 11 weeks of school, I think it was.
Yes.
March 6th was the last day that we had, because that was Meta Rodeo Day. And if you want them to come to school, they're going to be coming to school. That's called face-to-face. And face-to-face means that the teacher's going to be at the front of the room, and there's going to be students in the classroom. We used to sit in groups of 4, like tables. We're not doing that anymore. We will sit in rows like you and I probably did, and you have your own desk. If we need manipulatives, There'll be a Ziploc baggie, and all the kids will have their own stuff in their bag, in their desk, or they will use only their own. They won't be sharing with somebody else. They'll need their own glue, their own scissors, all that stuff. They will have their own very own stuff. No sharing. We've told kids for many years, share, share, share. So now we're saying don't share.
Right.
But that's the way it is at this moment. And so face-to-face means they're going to come to school. We'll start out the first day of school, August the 18th, just like we always do. And we will go from there, trying to keep everybody safe distance apart, moving around, those kind of things. They will have work to do, just like they have always done at school. And if Miss Merida were in my class and I were to find out that she became sick, my class would all receive a note or a phone call home to your parents to let you know there's been a child in our classroom that has been exposed. We will not come back to school for 10 school days. That's 2 weeks if you count the weekends. We would not come back to school. If it's just one class, it would just be one class. But if we found it was happening in multiple classes, like that pre-K kid had a 4th grade brother, that 4th grade class may be exposed too because the brother was. It's going to be uncharted waters for us. And we're going to try to figure it out as we go. But if we have several, then Dr. Powell and the board of directors have said that that they would, they would just shut down the school for a minimum of 2 weeks. Kids would then, everybody's going to have a laptop or a Chromebook. Every student at Metter Elementary School.
Pre-K, kindergarten too?
Pre-K, kinder, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And at the other schools in Pasadena School District, there's about 55,000 kids. Our school board has elected to pay for some type of device for every single kid if you were enrolled. And so you will have some type of a device. So if we were at school and we had to go home for a week or two, your child would then have what's called blended learning. They're going to go back. The teacher's still going to be teaching them every day on the computer. They will still do work. They must do work or they'll be counted absent. And then after the 2 weeks, they'll come back to school again. That's called face-to-face learning, and that's what we have.
And so that could be, right, Ms. Bolton, if I had a child at Metter, and Metter shut down for 2 weeks because of some COVID cases, but I had a child that went to Morris, that child still would be going to school, correct? Possibly.
Possibly.
It's
could
going
be
to
that
vary.
way. It could be that. We're not just going to close down school because one kid at Dobie High School got it. It's going to depend on each campus.
Okay.
And it's going to go back and forth. I'm going to tell you we're going to do every single thing we can to prevent that from happening at Metter. Research says that elementary age students are less likely to contact this virus. And so it is extremely important for an elementary kid to come to school because it's so hard for them to get online and read the directions and follow when they don't even know what their letters are. They can't sound it out. They can't read and follow directions in kindergarten and 1st grade, maybe even some 2nd graders, maybe even some 4th graders, without help.
We want your babies here at school. That's how, especially these younger elementary grades, that's how they learn their social skills and, you know, all of those socialization skills.
It's all the same thing with high school. Even though you have a high school kid and they can get online and they can do all their work, and that's perfect. They could be going virtual and you could send your elementary age student to school. You know, but they still need social interaction. They still need their friends. That's all part of the social emotional part because kids can really get upset when they miss their friends and they get lonely and they get depressed and they do things that they shouldn't do. But when they have good influence.
I've got 2 boys at home. They're older, but I bet your kids have been bored, going crazy at home. They have not been at school since March
the 6th.
So if they come back in August, it'll be almost 6 months, I believe, that they have not been their school routines and structure.
That's true. Okay, so then the other level that we have is called virtual learning. Virtual learning is about this much the same as the way it was that we've done it for the past 9 weeks, and about this much different. It will no longer be they can just get on if they want to or whenever they want to, or you can help them do some work and turn it in at 11 o'clock at night. I say that because that's really what happened. Many people turned in work 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. If you go virtual, or if you go face-to-face, you're going to be asked to make a decision. For the first semester, which means from August until December, parents, you're going to be asked, do you want your child to come to school face-to-face? If somebody gets sick, you go home, you do it on the computer a couple of weeks, that's the blended part, and then you come back face to face. Or do you want them just to do everything on the computer? That's called virtual. So from August to December, you're not going to be able to change your mind. Okay? So you have to make sure this is what you really want. But the virtual part, let me just explain that to you. As a parent, I'm going to read you exactly what it says here. Every student will be expected to get online during school hours, okay? During school hours means from 7:45 to 3:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 7:45 to 3 o'clock, that's what time the kids, that's during school hours. The teachers will be able to, virtual teachers will be able to teach your child reading, math, everything that the teacher that's going to be doing here, they're going to do the exact same kind of work. One's going to be on face-to-face paper, the other one's going to be on the computer. But pre-K to 4th grade students must have you, an adult, or a grandparent, or a high school brother or sister, which they can't do their work if they're with them, but they must have a parent or an adult present with them who can facilitate them learning during the school day. That means you got to help them log on. They got to get up in the morning and get on the computer at 8 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have to work for 4 hours on the computer.
Make sure that they're logged on to the schoolwork and they don't log on and then you go off and then, like I said, I got your voice, and then they get on YouTube or try to get on the gaming things and you think they're on.
Anyway, students must be engaged. That means actively engaged. There's going to be a teacher teaching them, and they have to be engaged. And they have to participate in all the activities that the teacher's asking them to, because they have a curriculum. We have a curriculum that we're going to follow along. And if the teacher says you got to do this page and submit it to me, they have to turn it in today, not at 11 o'clock tonight or tomorrow or over the weekend.
Right, because then in this last end of the school year, teachers were they weren't
just
they were accepting work even if it was a few weeks later. But so this is going to be different then.
Right, so this is like regular school, but the kid's going to stay home for safety reasons. Now, you as a parent are saying, well, what are they going to do if we don't get on? Well, we have to check roll every day. Either your child is here at school or your child is online at attendance time every single day. And I'm not even for sure if it's going to be the same as it's always been. TEA, or Texas Education Agency, is changing things every day.
Right.
They are sending out guidelines, and then they change the guidelines. And so they are going to make the time for us to check video. If your child, they have another law that says your child must be in attendance 90% of the school year in order to get enough credit to be promoted onto the next grade for next year. So what that means is 90%, that means 10% they could be absent. So 10% of the school year, we go to school like 183 days a year. 10% of that is 18 days. 18 days the whole school year, they can be absent and still move on to the next grade if they pass. But if they're absent 20 days because they didn't log on there for a week, even if they made straight A's, they have not earned the right to go on to the next grade. It is super important, the decision that you make, parents. Do you want your children to come to school or you want them to stay home? I completely understand if you want them to stay home. But if you want them to stay home, they must get up on time and they must engage and participate in schoolwork on time every day, 5 days a week.
Right. It's completely different than how we ended last year.
Because last year we had a lot of students that did not complete work. Some days they'd get on, and some days they didn't, and they brought their cat, and they did different stuff. They weren't focused. We feel that every student in all grade levels has taken a step back because we missed some good instruction last year. But we cannot raise a society of illiterate students from pre-K to 12th grade. We must continue school.
The learning must go on, whether you're in the schoolhouse or at your house.
That's right. So students will have grades. The same grades that a kid has if they're coming here will be expected the same kind of grade that's online. It will not just be a get on when you want to get on. It's going to be get online every day. I just want to inform you of that so that when you make the decision, of how you want your child to go, that you are informed. I ask you, Miss Merida, will you put this link on our video today so that parents, you can go on and log on. I promise it's 4 questions for every student, and all you got to do is put their name and what school, and are they going to go virtual or face-to-face, and if they need a bus ride.
And it could be different for your students. If you have elementary students and you want them to do one way, then you have high school that is wanting to do another way, that's okay. You can do that in that survey.
You sure can. We are making sure if they come to school, my job is to keep your child safe. My job is also to keep our teachers safe, because if my teachers get sick, who's going to teach your child? So we want to make sure everything's there. We have special guidelines that'll be set up in the cafeteria of what to do, how to go through to get your food. We have these spots that are on the floor. Where does it line up? We have disinfectant bottles in every classroom for students and teachers alike to spray and disinfect. We have going to be adding an additional custodian to our school to clean during the day, to keep it as clean as possible. In between, we have hand sanitizers set up for the students to use. We are going to make them wash their hands before they really come from the restroom.
Door handles, I mean, everything. There's a whole district committee and campus committees that are making sure that everything is covered the best that we can do. All the staff members will be wearing masks.
All the staff will be wearing masks. We will be providing breakfast just like we've always done. And parents, as you know, we will have a calendar that has been board approved by the school board, and we're planning to start out on August the 18th and start school on the first day and to follow that. But of course, it's new to us. If something happens and we do get shut down, we may have to change that calendar, and we will make adjustments as we go. But we have to start out with a plan.
Right.
And that's what our plan is right now. If you have a child that's in a special program, such as 504 or dyslexia or special ed or bilingual, GT, any of those programs, we are trying everything we can to make those individualized for every student to meet all their needs. That comes with a lot of changes. It depends on, are you going to come to school or are you going to be virtual? So we need to know, how do you want your child to come to school? And then we will make the next step as to how are we going to meet every child's individual needs.
But no matter which way you choose, the district and the teachers will work together to try to accommodate the best they can.
We will definitely do all the necessities that are needed to make sure that we meet every child's needs, however we can do that. As you know, when we get started, inevitably something may come up. Just like Harris County and our mayor has made the level system, Pasadena has made a level system page too. It is also on our webpage, our Pasadena webpage. And it's the green level. This is a go. We're coming to school just like always. Of course, social distancing and all the other things that go along with it, eating lunch, those kind of things. Then there's the yellow level 2. And the yellow level 2 is maybe somebody has been exposed in our school, and so we're on a bigger height alert, and we're really making sure that kids are washing hands and not touching things they don't need to do, and doing the very best we can, which might interfere with a little bit of instructional time because we're spending so much time on hygiene, but that's okay. And then there's the orange level, and that means, somebody at Metter has it, and so we're going to have to follow guidelines here. And then the red level, maybe the whole district may be shutting down for a while. And so we will be informed, and of course, when we're informed here at our school, we will inform you parents. We will make personal phone calls. We will post it on our webpage. It'll be, just posted everywhere we could possibly post it.
So there could be situations where Metter is open and running, but Morris has some cases, and so that campus is closed. So it could vary throughout the district during this time.
If we find a student that has it here, it's not just going to be Miss Bolton's decision, because I want to make sure everybody is safe. And so I'm asking for help from our authorities from higher up, and so our district health services will guide us as to what we need to do. Do we stay open? Do we close down? Do we, do different things? And so we have other people to help us make these big decisions, because I want your child to learn in a safe environment as much as we can be. And so I ask you parents, please, today, after you read this, please click on that line, think about it, or talk to your spouse tonight. How do you want your child to come to school next year? Do you want them to come in face-to-face? And we're going to remember, research says most elementary age children are less likely to contact the virus. It's the older generation, my age maybe, that's getting it. And so we need them to learn how to blend words and count and do money and all that. High school, they already know that, so they can log on much easier. But elementary kids, we need them here. If they're not here, you're going to be having to help us at home. So 4 hours a day virtual. So I ask you, make that decision, click on that web page, do your survey, let us know so we'll know how to prepare in just a few more weeks, because just a few weeks and I'll be back at school again. It's like I haven't left, I'm still here. And I asked Miss Merida and Miss Powers to come up today to help me. So
the survey, we clicked on it before we did this video to make sure we weren't lying to you. It is very quick. You'll do it in less than a few minutes. Once you decide which way you want your child to come,
4 clicks.
Yeah, and you can do the continue to add a child, and they could be different. It could be one face-to-face, one virtual,
or all of them stay home. But anyway, whichever one you choose, I'm going to support your decision because you have your reasons, and it's not my place to talk you into something. I'm going to support it either way. I just ask you, please give your child the opportunity to learn by ensuring that they either come to school or ensuring that they are on the line, because we can't have a whole generation of kids that didn't grow up to learn how to read. It's going to affect us in 10, 20 years from now, this COVID that we have right now. So thank you so much for your time. I apologize if this is such a lengthy video, but we wanted you to be informed, and I'm asking you to please do this as soon as possible. Go on to Skyward. If your child was at Merida last year, you still have to update your information. Updating your information does not make this decision for you one way or the other. That's a separate survey that you're going to do, and we'll figure that out later. We just need to go right now. How do we hire people? Do I hire 2 teachers to teach face-to-face and 4 to teach virtual? Or is it 1 to teach face-to-face and 5 to teach virtual? I need to know, and I need whatever you want us to do, that's what we're going to do.
So we do miss you guys. We miss our kiddos and seeing our parents, and we hope everyone is safe and healthy and is doing well during this time.
And I pray that your families have all been safe during this time. I'm knocking on wood. Miss Merida and I have fortunately been safe during this time, and so we want to keep it that way too. And we're going to do everything we can to keep safe, so we're going to do everything we can to keep safe by keeping your child safe. So trust in us. We want your kid to come to school.
And if you have any questions, feel free. You can message us directly on Facebook. Most of you have your emails, or you can look them up on the webpage, our Meta webpage. So
there you go.
Let us know.
But anyway, that's it for now. So we'll see you later, alligators.
After a while, crocodile.
And always remember, washy, washy. Have a great day, guys.
Bye-bye.